Okay, so we're here in Dublin. For once, I'm not on my own. We're here with Kealy. Just finished up breakfast in Lemon. So Kealy actually tweeted Rob during the week and got a reply, so thanks for the recommendation. Yes! Yes! Just on our way into the Radisson now for the start of the event. It starts at 11. And then a full day from 11 to 4. Not sure exactly how it's gonna go, but is it right down here? No, keep going straight. So we'll try and get a few clips of that, loads of photos. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video. It's so cute.
Arrived, Owen, Roddy, Conor McGregor's coach. So Rob and him are going to be up here in 5 minutes.
Background of what this is, how I came up with it, why, and what you guys should get out of today, okay? Start off with Owen Roddy, which is Conor McGregor's striking coach. Then we're going to have Purcell just talk about how she started out on social media, how she monetized it, and how she wrote a cookbook. Then we're going to have Gary McGowan. And what advice would you give to someone looking at starting martial arts, MMA, a combat sport?
Obviously find your local gym, but don't go in there too worried about being beat up or anything like that. People have this, misconception that a mixed martial arts gym or a kickboxing gym or a Thai boxing gym, you're going in, you're just killing each other. It's completely different. Everybody in the gym has followed that exact same path that you're just about to embark on, and it's a tough road. Especially if you have a bit of an ego around like that. It's hard because your ego gets tested on a daily basis. You go in there and if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're forced to submit to something. Unfortunately for me, I suffered some injuries and stuff like that, so I had to pull out of the game. Very, very tough thing to do when you're on the cusp of attaining a goal that you set when you were 18. So I was 18. My one goal was I want to fight UFC. I want to lace up the gloves, and I want to win. I want to get enough money to buy a house. That was my goal. And I get to that point, and then it gets taken away. So it was very, very difficult. But when you're in a position like that, you gotta figure out what to do. You can moan and give out about it and say it's not fair, or you can look for another path in a similar aspect or a similar kind of career. You figure out another route, and I went off into the coaching route.
And what this thing you shouldn't off? I mean, brilliant. Fire the microphone person there. But quickly, what do you think makes a good coach?
A good coach. A good coach has to be in my field, where it's kind of an individual sport, where you're working with an individual and not so much working with it. There is a team aspect to it, but it's an individual sport. One guy goes into the cage. And making something that makes a good coach is being aware that everybody's different. Everybody will have a different style of fighting, and it's based on a lot of things. It's based on their attributes, their body type, and their personality as well. And it's addressing that and knowing that and working to their strengths. Like, if I don't have a kid from, like, I teach kids program as well, so if I take a kid from age 6, I can mould them into the type of fighter that I think he's going to be. But if I take a guy in that's 18, 19, that's already fought a little bit, I have to be aware that he fights in a particular way. He favours particular techniques and stuff like that. I could be ignorant and say, no, I want you to do this, or I could adapt what I know to him and help him, and that's what I think I do. And Conor was like a younger version, not as flashy because he didn't have the money to buy the flashy clothes, but he was the same type of guy. Okay, very confident, very sure of himself. Knew exactly where he was going from day one, like, and you know, we trained a little bit and stuff. And a couple of the qualities he had, he was very scrambly. Wouldn't quit on it. You could have a choke on him straight off the bat, and it's on, and he's going blue in the face, trying his damnedest to get out. Just sheer grit, determination, and very, very sure of himself. So a master or anything, it's not, I'm going to do it, you know, 3 or 4 days a week. It's, I'm going to do, as I said, you're going to do your 10,000 hours. You're not going to be a master unless you do that 10,000 hours. And he did. He dedicated his life to it.
One thing before that I'm so into, and one thing that I want you guys to really actually think about today and take away, is the visualization that man has. You look back at old videos when he's in his old house, he's with D, he looks completely different, and he's talking about every single thing that comes true.
And what advice would you give to any 14, 15-year-old involved in any sport?
Yeah.
Or if even a 15-year-old you, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, like as I said in the talk that it's about dedicating yourself to whatever you like to do. Make sure you like it, because you won't become a master or anything that you don't like doing. First you have to find the love for something. So whatever sport it is, football, whatever it may be, martial arts, mixed martial arts. If you find something you love doing, dedicate your life to it, and know that there's going to be times where you're going to want to give up and you're going to want to leave, and it's about pushing through those times. And if you do that, you'll be successful in whatever you choose to do. So, all the best.
Never any 2 words. Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
What time do you reckon?
Sorry?
What time do you reckon for your mate?
Lucky for a minute, that's it.
A minute?
A minute. I know Steve.
Okay, so shoulder height.
This is your PT, lads. See how strong he is.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, no Steve. Come on, Steve. Push through it, come on.
It's not legal. It's not a legal maneuver.
I'll be right. At least you beat the minute mark. Do it for the vlog, Keane, come on. Do it for the fans, Keane. Fuck yeah. Bastard. Oh man, that gets so hard.
It's one of those things that people can see through if someone's genuinely into it or they're not. If they're just doing it because it's on trend and they feel like they should. So if your morals are in the right place and it's your passion, you won't have a problem.
That is some amazing advice right there, and you can actually just tell. And so don't think that you have to be a fitness blogger or write recipes and be a food blogger. Do what you love. Don't care if it's the current trend, because you'll never truly excel if it's not something that you're absolutely passionate about. And we've all heard, I hate these typical phrases, but they are true, that you'll never work a day in your life if you do what you love, okay?
Okay, I'm focused.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Purcell here. So, some advice I give to you young 14, 15-year-old girls. Firstly, I wish I was that age again. Secondly, do not give up your team sports. One of my biggest regrets is giving up my basketball team. And now kind of fully fledged get back into sports and training. It's something I really wish I didn't give up. And training is so important to keep up all the way through life, just for the long run in general, and keeping proper nutrition, just for looking great for the long term. So when you're in your 50s, in your 60s, your bone density is great, you've really great nutrition, and years of built up muscle behind you. So remember, don't quit those 14.
And this is my final slide.
but eat like a fucking adult. Okay? it's just one of those things, like when you see people eating like 5-year-olds, it's like, oh man, come on, you know, like I've talked about calories, I've talked about macronutrients, and people just seem to think that they can just get away with doing whatever within those parameters and get results for the long term, and it's just not how it works. You know, I was talking the last day you commented on one of my posts, we were talking about how I like to have a breakfast that is based on meat and vegetables, because what that does is then condition me to kind of enjoy those foods throughout the rest of the day. Whereas a lot of, if it fits your macros, people will be like, oh, I'll start my day with donuts. And you know, any of you know that if you go and have a really indulgent lunch or a really indulgent meal, you don't really want like salads or whatever after, because you've been conditioned to enjoy those foods. So sometimes you do actually kind of need to get away from the whole IAFYM mindset if you want to actually be adherent to your diet, because your taste buds and your kind of reward systems take a while to adapt to eating healthy food. So if you're in this kind of cycle of enjoying hyper-palatable, really, really nice, tasty foods, then it may be a good idea to actually cut those down a little bit, really kind of push them to the moderation side, and then just focus on actually eating like an adult. You know, I think it's a fairly good rule.
And when you have donuts for breakfast, it's only downhill from there. Exactly. Like, you're literally like, now I want them for...
If you go into it with the idea of, you know, I want to motivate this person, you concentrated too much on being someone who's, it's a bit too egotistical, if you know what I mean, because you're concentrating on being someone who people look up to, rather than doing your own thing, and then eventually that may come if you do well enough in whatever you do you know what I mean? If you pour enough milk over yourself, one day someone might think it's motivational. And I suppose now we're here, so that's how I ended up here. That's why I fucking love YouTube, and it's led me to like speak to people and meet people, which is great. So hi everyone, I'm Joe. Maintaining an element of a kind of aspirational feel to your video, something that's gonna like, do you want to make people sad? Man, I don't. You know what I mean? It's just it's less than ideal. So if you're feeling shit, right? If you're feeling shit, the best thing to do is not make a video. And if you're feeling shit day after day after day, address what it is that's making you feel shit. You know, because if you try and put something on and be a different person how you're feeling in the video, people are receptive. People will see straight through that, you know, and it will just come off as fake. You cannot, it's kind of cheesy, but you cannot be. And hopefully the people that you follow are at least grounded enough to try and curb that to some extent and come across as someone who doesn't have the answers to everything, actually, you know, is just trying to get by and still like, is just as unsure of themselves as anybody else, right? Because this is everyone would like to be this complete person, right? And it's like, you don't want any loose ends, and if there's anything you're unsure about in your brain, it feels like a loose end, and you have to tie it up so that you can be this ultimately self-assured person, and you know your opinion on everything, and it's so strong, you know, but nobody is like that, right?
That you learn from today and apply them into life, okay? You can have the best training plan, the best nutrition plan, the best business mentor, the best life advice, but if you don't execute it, if you don't put it into motion, it doesn't work. So go forth, kick some ass. Of course, man, yeah, absolutely, yeah, I'm like, it's like second nature, you know?
10 seconds of advice for a 15-year-old you and what you do differently in terms of your sporting life. Just
sporting life, enjoy it and take what it learns you and apply it to real life. And then in terms of just general me, don't be afraid to go, you know, a route on your own or an unpaved path, and you know, don't feel like you have to confine to social norms, and don't be afraid to get out there. So that's it.
Thanks so much.
So
appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up, guys? Dara here. I'm here with the guys.
Yeah.
Say what's up. Yes.
10 to 15 seconds of advice for a 15-year-old you. And what you do differently or what you do the same.
Barely remember I'm 15. I suppose it would be like I started lifting when I was actually 13 years of age, which kind of came from playing rugby and being a sprinter and not doing a thing properly. Literally not a single thing. Nutrition, like lifting stupid weights, just not doing it properly. And those injuries like that I kind of got back then have actually come back to haunt me, which is the most annoying part. Like my hips, my knees, stuff like that. I would have injured them when I was quite young, between the ages of like 15 up to 18 playing rugby. And not only that, but lifting with terrible form. So if there's one thing I'd say is educate yourself on how to do things properly. If you don't know how to do it properly, just simply don't do it. and just educate yourself enough, and there's enough people around to ask, I'm sure, and we're always, you know, very open online, no problem, send messages to any one of us. I'm glad we will get back to you. Have a good one, guys.
And that's that. Now time for food. So that's it, I'm going to end the vlog there. Hope you all took something from it. It's got me really pumped to start putting out more videos over the next couple of weeks, and to just kind of not worry about what other people think of you in terms of putting out your content. Just put out your message, and if people hear it and they want to take it as it is, then that's fine. If people want to hate on it and kind of be negative towards it, then let them do it. Like Rob said, kind of come out of your comfort zone, which is what I'm going to try and do, to provide you guys with a little bit more content and context around the content as well. So again, massive day. Tired now, as you can imagine. It's about 11 o'clock. Been on the go since about 6, and I will see you guys in the next video.